Good morning, everyone. This morning I'm going to read you a story called The Knight Who Took All Day. There was once a knight who thought he was brave and fearless and handsome. He longed to show everyone how daring he could be, especially the princess who sat in her tower combing her long golden hair. But the princess wasn't very interested in watching him joust and fight. What I need to do, decided the knight, is defeat a terrible dragon. Then the princess will see how marvellous I am. The trouble was that no one had seen a dragon for over 100 years. The knight rode through the dark forests and into the gloomy caves. He even peered into a raging volcano, but he could not find a single dragon. Then one day, without any warning, a dragon appeared on the horizon, and he was pretty big too, with smoke pouring from his terrible mouth. The knight was delighted and ordered the squire to get his armour ready. The squire ran to the armoury, which was down 101 steps. He chose the strongest suit of armour he could find and ran back up the stairs, and all the while the dragon rampaged across farms, scattering cows and sheep. This is what the dragon looks like. Everyone was scared and ran into their houses. Meanwhile, back in the castle, the squire gave the armour to the knight. Not that armour, you fool, he bellowed. I need my shining armour with my curly flourishes, and fetch me my helmet with a visor. The squire ran down the 101 steps and found the knight's shining armour and helmet with a visor. But when the knight saw the helmet, he was not at all pleased. It had no plume. Plume, fetch me one immediately, and a cloak to match, he said. So the squire persuaded the royal peacock to part with a feather for a plume. But he couldn't find a matching cloak. He went all over the castle. Nothing seemed quite right, until the princess gave the squire her favourite cake. The knight was pleased. How do I look? He said to the squire. Very fine, said the squire, but the dragon is almost upon us. Well, all I need now is my trusty sword, said the knight, and my very best shield. The one with the dragon on. The one I got for Christmas. The squire ran down the 101 steps and fetched the sword and the shield. The knight grabbed them and swept off through the castle. It took rather a long time because the armour was heavy, and it was hard to see through the visor. And he kept tripping on his long cloak, but he looked marvellous. Now, where is that dragon? Outside, the princess stood before the dragon. She didn't look very scared. Who needs saving from the dragon, she said. They're easy to tame. But I wanted to fight it, said the knight. Well, you have to wait for another one, said the princess, and that might not be for 100 years. The knight was very cross and trudged back to his tower. Meanwhile, the princess married the squire, and the dragon roared with laughter. They flew off together to see the world, and they lived happily ever after. The end.